Yeah, I mean, Carrier's Alistar has been notorious for a very long time, but it won't necessarily be the most powerful lane, and the Yorick was the most face-up thing that we've seen in a very long time. They banned the Akali instead of protecting a potential Jace pickup, and obviously they didn't have the first pick immediately after that ban phase, and so the Jace could have come in then instead. Definitely the best skin choice. As let's get onto the Rift for game number 1 of this LCK Roadshow.
Game was also vs Faker versus Azir and was a loss.
Yehu. It's been a while. Obviously not in our region anymore, as Pei's taking some damage. Kellen is basically dead. Carrier not able to get towards him though. And now Diablo just going to have to be laning alone. Wow, talk about using your health bars. Oh, Kellen tries to get in there. They are going to be able to headbutt Diablo back. Wow. And the 4th bullet is set. And Pei's picks up first blood. Raptor now looking for a bit of an angle. Everyone in the vicinity and exceptionally low, as that is going to be the Nico locking down the kill onto the cow. But Raptor, can he actually grab Pei's? The answer is no. One last auto. Raptor will be taking down this first Drake of the game. So BNK, against the flow of play, is kind of what it feels like, but will be able to take the Dragon for themselves, although Carrier will spot it out.
One is coming over.
And no flashes there for Raptor. He does have the paranoia. Let's see whether he can use it, as Ona just comes in and steals his lunch money. Kellen coming on over, seeing what he can do, but he's not there in time. It's a kill and a Dragon, and Ona just walks away. And also kill Nocturne, who had no flash. Pei's now taking a fair bit of damage, but so is Kellen, who is able to flash himself out of the way. Ona is moving down. They once again have information of it, but what can they do about it as Raptor, no paranoia available, and Diablo's in a very awkward spot. Pei's in on about 2 health as they do take down the Nico, and Diablo just doesn't have the health bar to chase them down.
So many skirmishes around the bot lane. We've seen T1 members on such low
health.
Here
for T1. Trisha Barrage is going to soften up Pei's one more time.
Okay, some good poke.
Yeah, and there is the engage. Wind became lightning, and down goes the Ezreal. The paranoia is actually going to be used in mid lane, though, as they take down Faker. Kellen now trying to get out, but he will not be able to. And so it's a 2-for-1, as Raptor decided mid lane was going to be more important than trying to fight that bottom lane skirmish. As Carrier going to discover this Nocturne. Over the wall goes Ona with the audacious charge, and down will go this Nocturne. Man, Ona is having an absolute day out alongside Carrier. You have Daystar moving down towards this bottom side. Oftentimes to talk about scaling can bail you out, but I don't think it's happening this time. As Diablo trying to get that damage down, but they are just looking to take down Kellen, and they will be able to get their prize. Ona with the Crescent Guard barely even needs it with how tanky he is. And Diablo Jin Alistar with a little bit of help from Ona, you could say. But still, it's bad news. Is now Faker in a little bit of trouble once again. Does flash himself out of the way and has Carrier alongside. The skies do descend, but it's nowhere near enough to deter Carrier from just killing the Nocturne.
There was a massive lead for Doran. He's been doing so well in the 1v1. Oh, they're going for it again.
Yep, I've seen this play before as the Rift Herald comes down towards his bottom side. No joy on the Shockwave as the Spell Shield was there. Azona is just going to take the Shelly exit. Just wanders his way out. Went a little bit low there, but he's just going to be able to careen towards the mid lane and even grab a charge. Love that.
Nails it.
Gorgeous work, and he gets himself out.
It's still a sizable lead. I'm glad that they're still trying to be proactive in this game. They're still trying to make things happen, but they are struggling to keep their heads above water.
Well, Daystar is likely to die to Doran here, although he does get his singularity down. Shock Blast misses, and so therefore he flashed in to die in that play. That's what happened.
Daystar also had flash still, so he could have flashed the Shock Blast if needed, although maybe would have struggled to turn the damage around if he did that. Now they are looking.
Yeah, that is going to be a very dead Nocturne as Raptor is taken out by a bullet of Pei's. Carrier, just wherever he is, BNK members will die. That is...
I mean, if you're going in as Nico Nocturne, you're already behind, and they have that extra shielding.
Oh dear.
Where'd he go?
Death Chamber.
You know, sometimes we see the clone get focused down and it just, you know, vanishes very quickly, right? That kind of felt like that.
Looked exactly the same.
The clone might have survived longer, to be honest, at this point. Now, they are just going to look towards Baron. Raptor does have ultimate to get in. They do have the empowered Aurelion Soul ult, so...
Yeah, it's a big flanking teleport here for the Dragon and for the Yorick. As the Baron is down to about 6k, they've used a lot of their vision, but Controller does go over the back of the pit. In goes the Nocturne now as they do manage to to find the ulti, but the Aurelion Soul's just dead. They take down Faker one more time, but we've seen that doesn't bother T1 too much, as they will be able to take down Diablo as well, and Raptor takes a shock blast on his way out. I feel like Raptor's just been running away this entire game. A 1 for 2 so far in favor of T1. They also get themselves the Baron, and regardless of what happens after this, I feel like they're going to be feeling very, very good about the outcome of this one. As the curtain call comes in, one of the bullets, make it 2, are going to connect there, and Owner is also able to tidy up Raptor. Yeah, Kellen had died earlier in that explosion of Nico damage, and so I'm going to call it an ace. This inhibitor turret towards the bottom side of the map. Daystar wants nothing to do with the defense of the base, as I don't think BNK FEARX would have been able to defend regardless. Here's a Pop Blossom that just gets avoided entirely. Raptor goes into the backline to die, and they do manage to kill Carrier, so there's at least something. Didn't have the ultimate from that previous play, as Diablo in a very awkward spot gets hit by the wind becomes lightning. That means that Owner dashes towards him. It is going to be a turret against the flow of play and some bounty gold for it, but still a drop in the ocean as it turns out. Shockwave is just going to pull in clear. He takes a lot of damage as well. Dissonance going to help out as Pays. He's in the ghoulie wall and is not too phased by it at all. As BNK FEARX just watching as their Nexus turrets fall. That is going to be a decent ulti here from Daystar, as Faker is once again going to be dead. Daystar goes golden before he dies, and Owner is going to go in. Crescent Guard is looking like an offensive ability by the looks. And T1 will be able to deal with these Nexus turrets eventually, as this is a very different game to what we saw against the Bros yesterday. A shellacking from T1 in game number 1. BNK FEARX really going to have to go back to the drawing board here. This felt personal after what BNK did to T1 in the LCK Cup. Some absolute
threat to this backline.
I like Neferi a lot more, actually. Neferi Lulu we've seen already find a lot of success. Obviously, that was a different version of Neferi, playing in the lane rather than in the jungle, but Raptor has been decent at this champion. We just need to not have a repeat of that one play that we all remember when he played Neferi early in the season, and it was just terrible.
That was definitely a hug between them. That was just unkind.
FEARX have an opportunity to bring us to 3 games with a win here. We'll see whether they can. All right, the BNK fans actually managed to get a little bit of a fan chant there. You did hear the T1 roar earlier on, but we do actually have BNK FEARX fans also.
But yeah, the expectation is that we are just going to see this passive build-up from T1. It's not a major concern, but if you lose some of these early skirmishes...
Oh dear. Raptor was just backing, does avoid the Lucent Singularity, but then doesn't have the untarget ability for the rest of the engage. Thankfully does make it out, and T1 not going to overextend into that. Only level 4 for Owner, so doesn't have the ulti just yet. Still T1 with a lot of control down here. It is about 6 minions, the difference between the two, and which will continue as Pays clears out these remaining 3. Light Binding connects, and Diablo does still have his barrier available, but that is not a trade that he really wanted to make. As there is the net in, finally the barrier does come on down, and the Light Binding connects once again. Peacemaker is not looking real peaceful here in the hands of Pays, as they just destroy the Lulu.
I think the thing is in this situation is Diablo and Callum were doing pretty well in the early levels. That's the thing, at least in this game, is last game it was like you picked Ezreal Nico because you wanted to win lane, and losing that to Alistair Jhin feels terrible. This is a lane...
Oh, the all-out does come on through here as Doran is going to silence himself. There's the dash forward. Clear hits the Q. Can he find it? Is Doran one more auto, and Clear picks it up. The solo bolo from the Cassante in the top lane. As here in the bottom side, things not looking great for Diablo, who does eat the damage from Lucent Singularity as well. Good combo there as he just made it back to lane.
Cassante coming up huge though, finding the all-in onto Doran. Flash advantage now as well. The sustain from that ult going a long way now. We do see Raptor moving over here.
Yeah, Carrier does have his flash up again, and so is a little bit safer now. And it looks like Raptor is not all that interested in making his way over already. Does have his entire bottom side to clear out.
It's over 1,000 gold lead already for Pays.
Yeah. Go back towards his turret, so will keep himself alive. And didn't even require the flash as that was still on cooldown. Oh dear, I think Diablo may be dead. He dances on top of a trap.
The trap. Great read by FaZe, but Diablo just not having a good series so far, and the pressure keeps mounting in this bot lane.
Oh dear, 48 to 74 as well as far as farm is concerned. It's all negatives here for BNK FEARX on the bottom side. As we're going to have a look at this one here on the bottom side once again, and I kind of wish we didn't.
It's just so well played. You're already so low, and it's both of them read it, right? Carrier through the binding, and FaZe at the trap down there already. They just knew where he was going to go. They knew he couldn't continue to disengage back towards his tier 2 because as soon as you run out from the turret, you don't have that assistance, you're just going to die. There was only one way he could go, but it was just pixel-perfect reads from both the bot laners of T1.
Yeah, gorgeously done. There's the flash all out. Not exactly the best position, but there's the ulti in from Raptor, and Clear picks up another one. This time with Raptor's help, or at least a little bit of assistance, you could say. But this Cassante is very, very large. The problem is he's building all magic resist, and there is still FaZe that he has to contend with later on in the game.
Yeah.
So that battle, once they do make it to team fights and things like this, is going to mean things can get a little bit awkward.
I mean, the Kinnick Rugen is going to be fantastic for the 1v1, and presumably he gets...
But right now it looks like T1 are not going to be contested on the take of Dragon number 2. So Double Dragon once again, bit of a monopoly on that objective so far. As in goes Daystar looking for an angle towards Faker here, who's moving the wrong direction. Right now, Daystar feeling pretty good. The ulti does finally come out, and Daystar just ults over it and picks up the solo kill in the mid lane. Solo lane is going well here for BNK FEARX, but it's this bottom lane that's leaving T1 still with a pretty massive gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we've seen the Akali into the Azir so much. Faker obviously struggled playing against Roma in this matchup yesterday.
Yeah.
And once again, Daystar able to find a solo kill. Just so much mobility and threat onto a champion who normally survives by just having more mobility than everyone else. Oh, that's a TP in from Clear. They're looking for this play.
Yep, they want to try and find an angle as Diablo dashing on top of FaZe right now. There's the flash wild growth just to hold FaZe in position as Raptor is trying to make his way down. Cease and desist comes in as he ults over to FaZe in order to get himself out of there. Speaking of out, Clear is now just going to push the rest of them away, and Doran comes in to try and change this. But Clear has that big old shield, and Doran doesn't have the quest completed yet. Clear's health bar still hasn't moved as Raptor down to about 200. Faker is also about to die as Daystar picks up another solo carrier. It's exceptionally low as Raptor does go into the sky. Clear pulls back Doran. This Cassante is still gigantic but hasn't got the kills just yet, and Doran is dancing out of the way of these Qs. Can he avoid it? That's the question, as finally the Pathmaker comes in, and I think Clear will be able to get there. Thankfully, Ona still has a Vault Breaker to get himself out, and it's Carrier that moves back to this lane. But what just happened? Who won? I think BNK are in a better position now, right?
I think BNK got a lot out of that, which, you know, considering how far behind they already were, they are very happy with how they're playing range melee. Going forward like that just gets immediately punished by Daystar.
Well, now we've got a little bit of a 2v2 breaking out here. Raptor is going to leave as it becomes a 3v2 with Carrier in the area. Diablo has to pick up this wave. So T1 with some control of this top side. You can see already so much vision in the area. There's a cease and desist down as they look for Daystar. He's going to dance on in as Owner is just dead before the fight's even really broken out. And Raptor avoids the Emperor's Divide. Faker is just going to get taken out as Daystar picks up a double. And yeah, T1 not going to be able to do anything about this one right now. Even with a fed bottom lane, they cannot manage to match when Owner and Faker are just dead.
Yeah, I mean, look at the advantage the solo lanes have in BNK FEARX. And yes, FaZe has a 2,400 gold lead, but it's being mitigated by the rest of BNK FEARX to give them an overall gold lead for what feels like the first time in the series. I think maybe they had a little bit of one in the start of game one, but now starting to find a good angle. And I think this Akali Neferi combo. So firstly, they go for this engage onto Daystar, but he creates a lot of distance, and they're able to get the reset for the Neferi.
Oh.
Okay, Daystar looking pretty dead now.
Yeah, he's going to use the Shuriken backflip, as now Kellen is moving in. Yeah, shoots Owner with a gun once again. There's the wild growth onto the Akali to keep him alive. Owner is just dead as Faker once again finds himself on the wrong side of the rift. The final spark is not going to do nearly enough as he wants to take Raptor with him, but Raptor will not be going down here as Daystar is now 6-0.
6-0 on this Akali.
Let's see whether they can actually close it on out, as Pay's actually taking a fair bit of damage now from Diablo, who's dashing on in, looks for the angle, finds the ulti in the Arc of Ruin, as now Carrier coming on down, doesn't hit him with the shield, as Daystar lurking on that flank angle as he dashes on forward, caught by the binding, and will get taken down. Huge shutdown over to Pays, as now the equalizer comes in, that's Hold being able to... The flashlight binding is maybe not going to be enough, as that is a takedown by the Neferi. At least Doran is able to pick up the kill onto this Yunara, but Kellen baits Owner in, and Raptor is able to take him down, and the top side of the map for BNK are just too fed.
The top side coming in clutch, Raptor with the cleanup, and Faker wasn't even there to assist with the play. The start of the play looked so T1 favored. The binding onto Daystar was massive.
Oh, Clear is just wandering at Faker here. He's going to see that this Baron is being taken right before their eyes. And I imagine T1's eyes have lit up as Owner has stolen these before many, many times. Doran moving on over. It's BNK sticking on this Baron for now as Clear's tanking a fair bit of damage. Raptor over the walls. They're looking for the turn. But instead, BNK just going to tank a lot of damage and then just try and leave. Light binding onto 2 once again as Carrier, after that, just goes down. Pays trying to kite as best he can as Owner gets the interrupt on the ulti. And Raptor now does not have the on-target ability to get out. There's the cease and desist as Owner is going to get taken out for it. But he will take Raptor with him. BNK, I think, lucky to get out with a 2-for-1 after that precarious Baron attempt.
If you want to look at the top, oh
dear. K'Sante going all out once again as Pays is trying to stay alive, and he fails to do so. Still the shutdown goes over to, that was such a nice polymorph to come on through, and then Daystar with the perfect execution takes down Faker yet again.
T1 in. And Daystar's on this strat.
The flash binding is going to catch the Akali, but he flashes out of the way. He's in the shroud already, and the entire time they're still on the Baron. So that is just going to be taken by BNK FEARX. And Daystar just absorbs the pressure enough to secure it. Still, they will lose this outer turret in the mid lane. And so the Rebel Baron power play, not the most gigantic thing right now, but BNK is still looking for it. The flash in from Raptor. Emperor's Divide is going to stop it as the Wild Growth. Raptor gets out with barely a sliver of health as Daystar, he's able to lock down Owner. There's the dash on forward as Faker is dead once again, but Doran has so much damage on this Rumble as both of the Fed members of BNK are now dead immediately after the Baron goes down, as now Raptor looking for Carrier here, but he's baiting one more time. Pays just nets himself forward, looking to take down Diablo. The final spark, not enough to kill him, but the ace in the hole will take him out. And there goes the Baron.
And there's an ace for T1 on the back of that Baron. BNK FEARX, everything seemed to be going right for them this game. An angle, and the TP obviously given that big shield is a big advantage as well. Will he get spotted in the banana bush? They're looking for him, they found him.
They're going to be able to find him here as Doran. Can he land the harpoon? The answer is no. Equalizer comes on through. Shuriken backflip will be able to avoid it there as Daystar desperately trying to escape. He gets into the shroud, but the rest of his teammates are nowhere nearby. Cease and desist comes in, and there goes the Akali. A 4 versus 5 now as BNK are trying to burst down this dragon, but I just don't think they're going to be able to do so until Owner makes his way over here. Carrier just keeping them busy as well as they're in the back of the pit. T1 are just going to light them on fire, and Clear is able to dash his way out. That's going to be soul point over to T1. And they are just playing it more methodically here from this mid-game onward. That's kind of the feeling here. As the Baron is being started up once again, Daystar is now lurking. He flashes in, gets the Wild Growth as cease and desist comes through. Pays down so incredibly low, taken down to the GA. And Daystar's able to go golden. There goes Owner as Daystar trying to get on top of Pays, but he doesn't need to. Carrier is able to finish off the Akali, but they take down Faker as well. BNK FEARX have wiped out most of T1 and are looking for the Baron.
They just needed someone to lead the charge, and you know, so much harder to peel the Akali compared to the Neferi, so explosive and quick. And even though we see Daystar get chunked down as much as Pays does,
that maybe they need to be a little bit aware of. They have so much vision in the area as now Clear could be in trouble. Faker is moving over, and the Vault Break is going to be there. That teleport, a very weird decision for Clear to make, as he does look to try and push Owner away. Gets the all out, as now Pays is going to show up. Emperor's Divide sweeps him under the rug, and that is going to be a dead K'Sante for a minute's time. And Raptor actually walked all the way up here to try and defend. The rest of BNK also doing so.
Yeah. Not able to threaten the dragon on the other side of the map right now. T1 continuing to push here. Owner, though, Doesn't want to face check.
A little bit dangerous as he does try to vault break away. Still, he gets a big old shield, but now Diablo getting hit by basically everything and the kitchen sink as Raptor goes down to the GA. The equalizer is going to burn the Yunara to a crisp as Raptor cannot do anything, and was just fighting a losing battle here for BNK.
And just like that, suddenly T1 might be looking towards an end. Daystar is up and available, but if he ends up getting caught out, goes down, if the binding hits, T1 will just push to finish.
Yeah, 10 seconds on clear here before he is back up and available as Daystar. Let's see what he can do here. He dashes on forward into the Shroud now as well. He blows up pace! He will trade himself for it, but that is so much of the damage here onto these structures removed, and that may have saved the game for BNK.
That was enough from Daystar. He has actually got a good amount of gold in the pocket.
And he's also full glass cannon, so he does so much damage.
Yes.
Even if he does die pretty quickly if they ever do get on top of him. A flanking teleport to come through from Daystar, though, as Doran also looking to rotate over immediately, trying to join the rest of his team. As T1 set up in the mid lane, Light Binding goes wide as BNK moving over towards the freshly spawned Baron. Daystar flashes in, they get on top of Paze! Can they blow him up? They take him down to the GA, but there goes the Akali first off! And there's the Cassante going down as well. Paze might actually die as Raptor, he's able to pick up that kill, but Faker is still standing, and we mentioned how much damage he can do. Kellen and Raptor by themselves cannot do enough, and T1 are now closing in on the base!
That's the thing, even though Faker struggled in this game, he's so fed now. He is a second carry, and Paze buys enough time with the GA, with the summoners. Faker comes up to clean up. The Neferi owner is looking for that Lulu.
There it is.
With that, even still down in kills, but T1 will find their second 2-0 of the weekend.
And this time was not the same as game number one, but still another 2-0 here for T1 in